He was one of the most bankable stars in Hollywood for well over a decade. His comedic presence on screen was one of a kind, and some would even say his unique style was out of this world. But over time, his career seemed to take a steep decline, and many began questioning his mental health. Let's take a look back at the legendary Jim Carrey and find out what actually happened. Jim quickly developed a deep desire to make others laugh even as a toddler. He would spend much of his free time admiring Hollywood's most popular comedic stars, hoping to one day share the same fate. And he would get the lesson of a lifetime to accomplish it.
I had a teacher in the 2nd grade who came in, this Irish woman, who said, you know, whenever I want something, I pray to the Virgin Mary and I ask her for it, and I say I'll do something in return, and I get whatever I want. Like that, and I'm sitting at the back of the class going, good deal.
That valuable advice would be a foundational building block as he grew older. With support from his family, Carrey would later pursue a career as a stand-up comedian. He began working the comedy circuit around his hometown, doing celebrity impressions and physical comedy routines. Sometimes the crowd erupted in laughter, other times he would get booed off stage. But Carrey continued to refine his unique style and used the negative feedback as fuel to improve. After years of honing his skills on stage, he had his sights set on moving to California for bigger opportunities. Although being a stand-up comedian was the initial goal, Jim later would embrace the art of comedic acting. Carrey auditioned to be a cast member of Saturday Night Live on multiple occasions, but each time he was turned down. But the rejections didn't discourage him at all. Jim would often visualize the success and fame until it became very real to him. Soon he would finally get his big break in show business after being cast for a sketch comedy show.
Now your kitchen area is an all too common locale for fires. First time I spontaneously combusted was in a kitchen not unlike this one. It was one of those hot nights. I opened the fridge and poof! Went up like a powder cake. Good thing I knew how to drop and roll.
Your hand's on fire!
So it is.
Carrey quickly became a fan favorite and one of the breakout stars because of his funny antics and unique characters. The exposure was great, but financially he still wasn't where he wanted to be, as he was a part of an ensemble cast on a brand new network. While struggling a tad, Carrey decided to write himself a personal check for $10 million. Envisioning one day he will be a huge movie star that deserved that sort of pay. Hollywood movie producers eventually took notice of the comedic standout that was consistently bringing laughs weekly on television. Jim was offered his first major role on the silver screen, Ace Ventura: The Pet Detective. When the film finally released in theaters, it was a big box office success. Jim perfectly embodied the character with the wackiness he had refined over the years.
And this is the storage room, and down the hallway here we have another...
Teens loved his comedic style, and so did millions of young children. Not only did he gain a ton of fans for his efforts, he also proved to everyone in Hollywood that Jim could carry a film. The offers began piling up one after another, following the future cult classic. With each movie role he signed up for, his stardom continued to grow exponentially. Jim unintentionally had carved out a completely new lane in the comedy genre, in which he was now the face of. Carrey even became the first ever actor to garner a $20 million paycheck for a single film.
Well, look who decided to show.
Not only was he thriving in the slapstick humor department, he also showed audiences he had acting range with dark comedies like The Truman Show. In a very short amount of time, Jim had already starred in more than 7 certified box office hits. And his success would follow him into the new millennium.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Happy 2000!
How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Bruce Almighty, and Me, Myself, and Irene. All massive hits for Carrey and more additions to his list of fan favorites. It was shaping up to be another decade that Jim would dominate, but slowly things started to shift for the actor. Like with many movie stars that once captivated an era, their star power begins to diminish with the newer generation of moviegoers. As actors like Jim Carrey got older, new and younger talent emerged in Hollywood and offered something different to the audience. No longer did a movie have to be family-friendly to garner major profits. Raunchy and even vulgar films now greatly appeal to the newer generation. It also didn't help that Carrey demanded top dollar for his services, while other actors required far less from the studios. With more free time on his hands to self-reflect, it seemed Carrey was no longer getting fulfillment from the fame or status any longer. Learning about spirituality and trying to make sense of it all would become more of his focus going forward.
Knowing Eckhart Tolle for a while and studying the books, I woke up and I suddenly got it. I understood suddenly how thought was just an illusory thing. And how thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience. And then I suddenly felt like I was looking at these thoughts from another perspective. And I wondered, who is it that's aware that I'm thinking? And suddenly I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom from myself, from my problems. I saw that I was bigger than what I do. I was bigger than my body. I was everything and everyone. I was no longer a fragment of the universe. I was the universe.
While Carrey may seem more out there to some, many have expressed their support for him and his new outspoken nature, especially when it comes to Hollywood.
I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
You got to admit, it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons.
in
Boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
What are your thoughts on this story? Were you a Jim Carrey fan? What is your favorite movie of his? Leave a comment below and let me know.